chemicals that resonate in our bodies to come into this existence. And I want to talk about what Doc briefly, because we have to keep it moving, because we have to fulfill the sister's obligations and go to the next level. But briefly, I would like to remind us, myself first and us, what Dr. Aliyah did when she had that life. If you've read the bio that's been circulating on Facebook or Masjid's Boys page or Betel Jamaat's page, you'll see a brief description of what she did with that life. In the 50 years or so that she's engaged in community service through her work of medicine as a medical practitioner and a community practitioner. That's the brief glimpse and snapshot of what she did, who she affected, who she touched. And this is just a brief snapshot of the people of whom she's touched. And reminding us, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done, to be mindful of death, because that is our sure reality. That is where we emerge from. And if we have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the mercy to enter into the life, into this existence. Now the question is, what will we do with that? Dr. Aliyah Morgan is an example for us of what to do with their life, in spite of all that may have come her way. Things that we may consider setbacks, things that we may consider detriments. You would almost not even know that they existed in life based upon that which she's given to all of us in here and more. Her bio doesn't describe it in full. All that done in spite, I want to really bring that point home because we have no excuses, brothers and sisters. This woman led this life with all the things that had been given to her by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the sanction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a test, as we are all tested. The question is, what will we do with that test? One of our answers is to look at the life of Dr. Aliyah Morgan to see what can be done with that test. She is going to be the example, and I say going to be, continue to be, present tense and future tense, because as the body goes, this is just the beginning. It's just a stopgap. And we make dua that Allah expands her grave. We make dua that Allah expands her grave so that she answers the questions in the grave with ease. We make dua that Allah expands her grave so she answers the questions with ease so that her trip along the sirat is easy. We make dua that Allah expands her grave and gives her ease in answering the question so that she can traverse the sirat so that her entrance into Jannah to the Firdaus is made easy. And that our souls and our family souls are made easy. Because that's who this is for right now. We are just giving some words of dhikr and reminder, but really here to support the family. Those who are struggling right now in need, give them your support. When losing a loved one on an earthly level, it is never easy. But to lose someone who's done all that Dr. I want to just keep bringing that home, brothers and sisters, because if you have not seen the bio that she has, find it someplace. It is an extremely important one-pager to acknowledge and to look at as a snapshot of what we can do, of what our job is to do, what our charge is to do. And not to take anything for granted. Not to make any excuses for that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His sanction, through His permission, has bestowed upon us. We've seen Dr. Aliyah in Masjid Taqwa. We've seen Dr. Aliyah in Masjid Sabah. We've seen Dr. Aliyah in events all around the city, the country for that matter, and Betel Jamaat, and different services, different capacities. I've never seen her without a smile. Once again, in spite of all that we might perceive she's been given. See, these are our finite perceptions. And Allah's the infinite. Our finite perceptions kind of take us down and begin to lower us and take us to a level that now produce ill-gotten thoughts. And we begin to think about restricting ourselves. This woman could have easily restricted herself, based upon that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given her. I didn't see any restrictions upon the sister. She's moving and grooving from Staten Island to Brooklyn, to Staten Island to the Bronx, Staten Island to Harlem, jumping in that accessory, getting busy when that's right, and wondering why dude is late. About to give him an earful. No excuses. And this is what we want to remember, that strength. Because remembering her strength, just one memory of the strength, might be enough to get someone who's struggling right now through. But we have, and I looked at the Bible last night to kind of just think about things for today. And she became Muslim some 40 plus years ago. And I find it interesting that she became Muslim some 40 years ago, and it coincides with the emergence of all the work that she began to do. 40 years plus as a Muslim, 40-something years of a medical practitioner, community practitioner. There's something there of a connection. Meaning, from my understanding, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her increased her because she already had the strength. You don't go through that which she's gone through without strength out the gate. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased her in this strength over and over, daily, day in and out, week in and week out with her. To move out throughout the boroughs, throughout the city, throughout the country. To give good tidings, good cheer to whomever she is, as her bio says, to all of humanity. Making no delineations between one or the other. All of humanity was under her charge as a medical practitioner, as a community practitioner. So, brothers and sisters, I'm brief. There's no way I could truly bring home all that she's done. I just wanted us to remember Dr. Aliyah Morgan and the strength that she had and the strength that she's given us through her memories. If nothing else, death, at least Janzah, these funeral, when we're in, when we're in emotional states at this point in time, one thing we do have and will always have, and each person in here will have it, is a memory. And when you multiply these memories of the individual, in this case Dr. Aliyah Morgan, by times the people who are here, times the people who are watching, wherever they're watching online or what have you, those memories are going to keep her strength, those du'as in those memories. Please keep her in your du'a of an expansive grave, an affirmative answer to all the questions asked her in the grave, of an easy road along the Sirat, and an easy moving into Jannah Firdaus, the highest point of Jannah. Don't aim low, because she didn't aim low. Don't just say Jannah, go Jannah to the Firdaus. She didn't aim low. The example is that which she's given us in that small bio, that small snapshot. The example is her family that's here. The example is the community that's here that can speak to all that she's given us. And I want to just close, brothers and sisters, with another, just a brief reminder from Surah 53. Surah Najm, the piercing star. That's what Najm is. Najm is the star. The star that is highly visible. And in Surah Najm, the 39th ayat, it says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wallaysa illa linsani illa ma sa'a. Sadaqallahu azim, surely Allah speaks the truth. That mankind, all of human beings, insan, can have nothing but what we strive for. I look at this sister's life, this mother's life, this doctor's life, this auntie's life, this grandmother's life, and I see a woman who strove hard. Sometimes they call it hard body. No give up in this sister. This is a reminder for us, brothers and sisters. This sister recognized the ayat, the sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that mankind can have nothing except that which we strive for. So this is a reminder for us, brothers and sisters. If this sister, and all that she had been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a blessing to motivate us, because sometimes abilities can be motivating. As a motivator, if this sister can do all that she has done in the capacities Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given her to do it, and far exceeding the standards of that which she did her work, then brothers and sisters, I beg of us to be mindful of that which we're striving for. Call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make dua for ourselves, our families, our communities, to strive in the highest form so that we may reach levels in an earthly form that she had reached in all other forms in terms of which we can do in this life. Figure out what we are striving for, brothers and sisters. I want us to make sure we don't leave here with just abstract thinking. And I want to make sure we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us very clearly that mankind can have nothing except for what he strives for. In the very next verse, that was the fruit of his striving will soon come in sight. The fruit of her work is here and will be here. And brothers and sisters, I make dua for Dr. Aliyah Morgan. May Allah once again expand her grave. May Allah make it easy for her to affirm questions within the grave. May Allah make it easy for her along the sirat. May Allah make it easy for her to enter into Janzah al-Firdaus. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Allahu Akbar.